y'all? It's your girl, Portia Marie, the CEO of Dope People Meet, and you are tuned in to the Dope People Meet podcast. We are live from the Content Factory, and this episode is sponsored by Bel Air Rose. This is where creators meet, and we have the honor and pleasure to have marketing guru Jakori Barkley in the building. What's up?
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. No hard complaints.
Please introduce to the world who you are, where you from, and what you do.
Yeah, so like she said, my name is Jakori. Some people call me Corey. I am a music marketer first. I have an agency called Country Brand Agency where we deal with ads, influencers, mostly for music artists, but, you know, really everybody, but mostly music artists. I'm a content creator. I make videos on YouTube for a channel called Brandman Network, where we mostly talk about music marketing, music branding, and I'm on other platforms, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. And I think that covers. Yeah, that's basically who I am or what I do. Oh, where I'm from. You said where I'm from. So I'm from,
where you from?
This small town called Barnesville. That's an hour south of Atlanta. So like very small, very country town. Maybe like 1,000 people in the whole city.
Never heard of it.
Maybe less than that if I really went and did looked into the census. But you know, I'm in Atlanta. I've been here for the last couple of years, so I'm basically an honorary Atlantean.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like I have a lot of cattle running everywhere in the streets.
In the streets, nah. But you could like my grandmother's neighbors have cows and like horses and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like that country.
Country boy.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel it. Okay. So before we hop into this live, right, we have to start with a celebration toast, celebrating life and celebrating our creativity.
Okay.
So I want you to start off with a positive affirmation for our audience that we can toast to.
Okay. Are we doing it right now?
Yeah.
Let's toast to the fact that we can keep trying.
Okay.
I like
there
that. I feel like a lot of people don't get to continue to keep trying.
Yes,
you know
social distancing toast. Okay.
So.
Let's get right into it. Okay, Jakori, I'm trying to go viral, and I just need to know what's up. Like, what can you do for me?
What are you doing?
I mean, I'm me. What
like,
you mean?
Are you
see
in
me
this
posting?
scenario, or are you like a hypothetical?
I'm a personality. You can't tell?
Okay, I got you. All right. So, like, before we get into like how to do it, I always try to have people want to make sure they can handle going viral, because going viral is a lot. It's the equivalent to going viral is the equivalent to opening a store up, and on the opening day, like 100,000 people walk into your store. Like, if you don't have the staff to handle 100,000 people in your store, you're gonna wish you only had 100 people in your store. You know? So I look at it like that. Are you the person that has enough going on to where you know how you're going to keep up with all the traffic that's coming in? One, how to monetize off of it, because I don't believe in going viral with no idea how you're going to monetize, because the viralness itself doesn't bring you money. It's what you do with the viral attention that makes you money. Like, I know lots of people who have millions of views that don't make money like you think they're making with millions of views. So I start there. Like, do you have the infrastructure to handle it? Are you going to be able to respond to all the DMs, all the comments? Do you know how to engage people? Like, you know, if you can't keep 10 people engaged, how are you going to keep 10,000 people engaged? It's the same game, you know, really just more people. So I always start people there. And if you feel like after hearing that, then like you got all that down and you think you can handle going viral, then I think it's about figuring out like what do you want to go viral for, or at least like what do you want people to kind of get out of the viral moment you try to create, and then figure out the spaces where that type of stuff makes the most sense. Because I don't think there's a formula for going viral. There are certain things that like other marketers will talk about, like you need to kind of like hit a pain point in emotions. You need to make people feel a certain way. It needs to be triggering to somebody. You know, it needs to have something about it that makes people want to share. But the individual things, like you really can't control. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how people respond to certain things. So I've seen everything from like stupid antics go viral, all the way to just, you know, like content creators who just posted some random video they made for their friends on TikTok and it just blows the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, they're famous in 2 weeks. But I think knowing what you want to go viral for, at least the type of people you want to hit with the virality, is important, because going viral in front of the wrong people is in my opinion worse than being a nobody, because at least as a nobody you can build up and try to figure out like where your tribe is at. But when you're exposed to a bunch of the wrong people, it's like you can't go back. You know what I'm saying? There's already too many people that know you. They're already talking about whatever they're talking about, and now you have a stigmatism attached to like whatever you do from this point out.
Interesting. Okay. So let's talk about the agency. What steps do Country Brand Agency take to develop content marketing strategies for clients?
Yeah, I mean, really, so we start by looking at like what the client is already doing. Our favorite clients are the ones that already have a grasp of their content strategy, or at least have the means to try to make content, because at that point I just tell them just try shit, because I think all marketers would agree that we've seen the most random stuff work for people before. So I'm always just like, yo, like if you make it, let's try it out. Worst thing that happens is we have to cut the ad off. Worst thing that happens is you gotta take it down. You know, like you gotta delete it or something like that. But from there, I always have them start by finding other artists or influencers that they like the way they kind of handle things. So if you're wanting to grow on YouTube, right? Let's say YouTube is a big goal for you. Go out and find 4 or 5 music artists or content creators that you like the way that they handle YouTube. And then from there, look at the things that they do and figure out what could you imitate to a certain extent. Because I believe one of the biggest hurdles to content creation is just getting over the hurdle of like making content. You know, like everyone wants to start with the perfect idea, but you have to learn how to use the platform first before you can make the big idea. And I'm a firm believer in like if I see a video idea and I copy it to an extent, it may not blow me up. It may not have people kind of thinking me, as like a genius or something. But I'm learning the technicalities of the platform. I'm learning how to use the features in the platform. I'm learning how to use my camera. I'm learning how to do all this stuff. So that way, when you do start to have those one-on-one ideas, then they don't seem as hard to you as they did before, because now you know the steps it's going to take to execute that idea. And I was just talking to somebody yesterday, like sometimes our ideas are scary to us because you don't know the amount of work that goes into it. But then once you know, like, okay, I just got to, like the event, right? Like, I got to step and repeat. I get some workers. Like, that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? But if you've never done that before, it's like, damn, like, what do I do to do all this? So I think just imitating what somebody else has going on is a good way to start, because there's no such thing as an original idea under the sun. And even sometimes with fans, they just want to see things done your way. Like I always use the example of freestyle videos and rappers. Like, there's no rapper in the history of ever that hasn't done a freestyle video. But if Travis Scott dropped the freestyle video today, I'm watching it because I care about the way that Travis Scott does it. You know what I'm saying? Not that that he's the first person to ever do that. And then from there, like I said, you can build out your one-on-one ideas based on real time, like fan feedback, or just the stuff that just comes to your head and you just put it out there. Worst thing that happens is you gotta take it down, or nobody likes it. And people move on and forget about it. So I always start people there. Look at other artists you like, look at how they're handling whatever social media platforms that you want to get started on, and then see what ideas they're doing that you can kind of do for yourself from there. And then past that point, it's really just testing. Like, let's just put a bunch of shit out, see how people respond to it. Let's market it, put some ad spin behind it, and see what the feedback is like. Because I'm also a big fan of, like, you can have an idea of what's going to work, but you don't really know what's going to work until you put it in front of people.
Right.
Like, we've had campaigns where the video that the artist has spent thousands of dollars and weeks of their time on doesn't outperform the video they like went in their bathroom and shot real quick out their iPhone 7. You know what I'm saying? And so it's that like you can have an idea what's going to work, but you don't really know. So I'm just a big fan of just keep making stuff, put it out, and the marketer will let you know if they like it or not, and you go from there.
So I like one thing that you said, that for me, because I'm a firm believer in just create. There's no rules to it. And I always tell like artists, they always feel like you got to come up with a concept and you thinking so long and hard, like trying to figure out a whole essay plan of what to do to put out. But I always tell people there are no rules to marketing yourself. Do whatever the hell you want to do. Like, who's going to stop you or tell you can't do that? Like, and I tell people all the time, to me, the best content's the relatable content. Allow me to be able to relate to you. Like, for example, Cardi B, I feel like she did an amazing job of truly being herself on social media and translating that into her artistry, to where now everybody fuck with her as an artist. Like, of course, naturally everybody's like, who is this stripper girl? But now look at her. So I definitely love that you spoke on that behalf.
I mean, well, just before you hop over that, some of it too, I think, is just like realizing what counts as content. Because when artists hear content, they automatically think music video, music, and pictures. And it's like, no, like Cardi B posting the video just talking to her fans is content. Like, if you go live on your Instagram account, that's content.
Good point.
If you and your friends are playing Super Smash Bros. And you live stream it on Twitch, that's content. Like, their fans care about the most random shit. And I always tell people that, like, you will be surprised at the things that people find entertaining, because everyone thinks their life is boring, right? But when you realize that everyone thinks their life is boring, it makes you realize that other people care about the littlest shit from you, because they think their life is boring. they're gonna watch you talk about music with your friends and all this little stuff that you may not think they care about, but they do care about it, you know. So I think just figuring out, or one thing I always tell people to look at too is Gary Vee has this document that I think he put on his LinkedIn a couple years ago about how he repurposes content across a bunch of different platforms. I think every music artist, content creator should read that, because sometimes the active creating content seems a lot more daunting than it really is, because you can repurpose stuff. Some things work on multiple platforms. There are things that you do on a day-to-day basis that counts as content, you know? So like we have a client that he plays video games all day. Like in his day-to-day life, like he plays video games for like 5 or 6 hours. And we're like, bro, just turn the camera on and live stream at least an hour of that, because that's content. Somebody cares about that and wants to watch you play video games all day for whatever reason that they want to do that. So I think those two things help artists get over that hurdle, because it is a lot of work in the beginning when you don't know what's going on. But like once you figure out your flow and what you're going to make and what you're going to do and kind of your voice with it, it becomes a lot easier.
So you wouldn't say there's any like key elements to going viral? Like, is there any elements to at least help content go viral, or you just think, so what are those elements? So
I think one of the elements is, does it trigger a certain emotion in someone? Does it make them laugh? Does it make them angry? Does it make them really sad? Like something about it that emotionally ties the person to what's going on. Because I mean, we're emotional creatures. We move off emotion, and we share stuff, you know, that triggers some type of emotion within us. And then from there, I would say like, is it genuinely interesting and entertaining? Which I mean, that's kind of hard to gauge, because you don't like, entertaining is different across the board. But do enough people find this entertaining enough to where this has a potential to go viral? And then is there something about it that makes people want to share it? Because that's what people always forget, is that's what going viral comes down to. Are people sharing it with each other? That's what creates a viral moment. Like you gonna tell 10 friends about, yo, Lindsay, this is funny. Like, did you see this? Like, check this out. That's what makes stuff go viral, is people sharing it with their friends. So I don't believe there's a formula to going viral. The one thing I look for in viral content though is, does it look like it'll trigger an emotion? Like I think if you want to go viral, the easiest thing to do is make people mad. Like you make people mad is everywhere, you know, or make people mad or make people laugh. Those are the easiest ways to go viral, because everyone likes to laugh and people love to share things that they hate for whatever reason. You know, we love to send things out. Look at this, like fuck this, like check this out, boom. That's another 100,000 impressions right there, because we don't like it, you know.
Right.
But past that, I don't think there's a formula to viral success, because I've seen too many random things go viral to like really think that, you know, like I've seen the most random shit go viral before.
So I remember one time we were having a conversation. You were telling me, like, I was asking you about content marketing, and you were like, you know, it has to have that oh shit factor. Does it make people go back and look at it twice? Yeah, so what is like a piece of content that you may have seen before and you was like, okay, that's the oh shit factor that I'm talking about?
Do you know who, are you familiar with the artist that's been going up, the Mario Judah dude?
I've heard, but haven't really tapped in for real.
So he's this I guess he's not a rapper. He's a music artist. He's from Atlanta. I think he's from like Cobb County or something. But he's been going viral, within the last, it's December now, so the last like 3 months or so. His first viral moment, at least from what I saw, came from a TikTok that was like anime related. It's just his song was in the background. And the TikTok that like really made him blow up was, I don't know if you saw the video, it was this black woman, like what people think is like dating a white dude, and it's like her running from him while the song. Have you heard the song? Like the song that he's been going viral for?
Go ahead and rap it for us.
Oh my God, I found you, nigga. That's that song, right? So,
okay.
So like that was shocking to people singing, because like here's this black woman and this white man playing off of this joke about the white guy calling her N-word. You know what I'm saying? So I think like that's what sparked his thing, and then he took it into a bigger movement with the whole Playboy Cardi, if you don't drop Whole Lotta Red, I'm gonna drop it for you. You know what I'm saying? That's been like this viral campaign he's been on for like the last 2 weeks or so. And both of those, like the TikTok has the oh shit factor, because it's the race thing. It's the race thing. This song is blatantly saying niggas playing in the background, like what
right.
You know what I'm saying? So that immediately it attracts you. You know, the contrast of the joke to the song is playing. The campaign that he tied into has the oh shit factor, because one, Playboy Cardi, this Whole Lotta Red project is something that Playboy Cardi fans been waiting on for like years. You know I think he dropped his last album in 2018, so we've been waiting going on 3 years for this project.
It's been a while.
And then just the fact that like I think that someone who is new in the industry has like the audacity to do something like that to someone is surprising enough to a bunch of people to make them talk about it. You know, so he's been able to create this conversation around himself off of a moment that's not even really his moment. It's Playboy Cardi's moment, you know. Or if we look at WAP by Cardi B and Meg, like that video was viral because of the imagery in it and the stuff they were talking about. Like it was just so far left from like not what they talk about, but just far left of like what I think that anything that had came out recently, and then just actually I think it was really just anything that came out recently it was just shocking compared to that. But that video was viral as fuck because of all the imagery and the stuff they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? It has that oh shit factor in it. So that's what I was talking about, like the appealing to an emotion of someone. You know what I'm saying? That Mario Judah video that went viral, it hit anger spots in some people. Some people thought I thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying? That's what made me share it. I thought it was funny. The WAP thing was very controversial. That's what made people share it. So like whether you have something good to say about it because you were defending them, or you have something bad to say about it because you were defending people that were saying something bad about it, you were talking about it, you were sharing it, you were pushing it around to people. So the thing I always try to tie it back to is the emotional aspect of it. Because sometimes people think just because something is good, it should go viral. And it's not true. You know, like there's potential for something to be a good piece of content and not have viral potential. There's a potential for something to be viral and not be good content. You know, like I've seen things. I'm like, I don't understand why this is viral, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's an inside joke. Maybe the community that made it go viral understands the joke more than the people that it hit past the community. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. So I think you can't get too wrapped up in like, I mean, of course, try to create quality content, but if going viral is the thing that you really want to do, then I think what you have to pay attention to more than almost the quality of the content is people. Like, what are things that people are responding to? Like, you need to understand psychology a little bit better, or more than like you even understand certain things about content creation, you know? Because that's what going viral comes down to. And they're like, do you understand the way that people consume certain types of content? Do you understand the types of things that trigger people, you know? Like going back to like my very first viral campaign was for this artist named Nathan Fouts. And it was like my very first like viral ever campaign is literally just he was a friend of a friend. He came to me with this video he made and was like, yo, like, do you think you could do something with this? I personally thought it was funny, so I'm like, yo, let's just try to make it go viral. And the video is him dancing around in his room with like a gun and like a blunt in his hand. And then he drops the gun goes off. His mom comes in the room and starts screaming at him, beating him and dragging him out the room. And all we did with that was literally just create like a meme style video around it. I think the video was like, wait for it, with like the emoji with his tongue sticking out, like emoji was like, wait for it. And yeah, the rest of the video, it was such a shocking video. Like when the gun goes off, it's people laughing at him. It's people that's like, yo, he's a dumbass, but they're sharing it, you know. And I mean, I guess from a meme standpoint, just that whole wait for it thing makes you stick around to the end to see like what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So just even at the time, I didn't understand like that's what I was doing with it, but now looking back on it, that's what I was doing with it. But like the biggest thing that we paid attention to with that campaign was within the first couple of posts, he wasn't like, he still wanted to run it, but he wasn't super excited about it because he started getting like people reaching out to him, giving like death threats and stuff. And that's crazy. That's me as the person not receiving the death threats. I'm like, oh, bro, this is a good sign. Like people care enough.
Oh my God.
People care enough about this that they're literally writing you these long ass paragraphs. Like I feel like in marketing, the worst thing is no response. Like if somebody thinks it's ass or somebody thinks it's good, if you get them to say it either way, like that's a good sign. Like it was triggering enough to get a response out of somebody. So, but silence is definitely. If no one's saying anything, it's like, oh man, bro, we didn't get nothing out of no one.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, bro, I think we should keep it going. Like you've clearly triggered some people with this video content. Let's just keep scaling it up and hitting more and more of these Instagram accounts, and then it just went viral. Like it went super viral.
So how do a person like himself surpass something like that? Because clearly he was just a regular old boy, just having this content, and now it's all over the internet, and he's getting these death threats. Like, how do a person surpass that? Because I'm pretty sure you guys have had conversation about how he was feeling, and now he getting all this attention. So how was that for him?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I think it was kind of hard for him because, I mean, who's used to getting that type of attention? That goes back to me talking about, are you prepared to handle that? Like, if you're someone that just yesterday, the only people DM you were like your 5 fans and your friends, and the next day you're getting 1,000 messages and 200 of those are death threats. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can you even handle that? So it was a lot of that in the beginning, just like, you know, me trying to give him advice like, yo, man, you know, this is what it's looking like. Ignore the messages. Try to only respond to the positivity. I think it bled over a little bit when he had a couple of like real life experiences of people like recognizing him in certain places and like, yo, bro, you the dude from the video, right? Like, you know, that whole thing. So I mean, it's only so much you can tell someone in that. Like now, I'm a bit more equipped for it because I do my own social media content. At the time, I wasn't super into social media, so I was like, bro, look, man, you let me know. You know what I'm saying? Like, get back to me. But now I can tell people like, yo, just pay attention to the positive comments. Try to ignore the people that are making you feel anxious about the situation. And then realize that, you know, at the end of the day, this is just a moment and it'll pass. By tomorrow or next week, there'll be something new that comes along and takes people's attention away from it. And you just gotta wait for that moment to come. And we know it's gonna happen, you know. But one thing that he did that I think everyone should do, depending on the type of content you're trying to create, is he went and talked to a lawyer first. So
he did?
Yeah, he went and talked to a lawyer. The lawyer was like, yo, when you post this video, cops are gonna show up at your door. People are gonna, there's gonna be something. This is what you need to say. This is what you need to tell them. Like he sent me a video that the day the video first went like viral. Like I mean, like we posted it on a couple of accounts. Got a couple 100,000 views. Got on a different account. It cracked like 300,000. Worldstar posted it within the first day of it been on Worldstar. Got like 1.5 million views. That day when they hit Worldstar, cops came knocking at his door. He sent me the audio of cops talking to him in the house about the video. Which one thing a lot of people don't know about that video is it was staged. Like him and his mom like put a script together and like acted out that whole entire video. Yeah, the whole entire video. But he talked to the lawyer about like what do I say when the cops show up? Because the lawyer was like, bro, cops are going to show up at your door. Like just be ready for it. And I don't think enough people realize that like going viral is cool and all, but it has real life consequences. You know, so if you're not prepared for the real life consequences. Don't do it.
That is wild. You know? So it was very intentional. That is funny.
Yeah. I mean,
and wild for his mom to even be in parts of that. Yeah. That is funny as hell.
And they made it look good. I didn't even know it was like something they just came up with until the campaign was over. Like I was literally talking to him like, yeah, bro, that's crazy. Like you got so lucky. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, it's lucky that you happen to like catch this on camera. He's like, oh no, we staged the whole thing. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, bro, like me and my mom, like it took us like that was like the 6th take. You know,
oh my God,
to get that right.
What? Who does that? With their mom?
But it's like I think the best marketing moments are things like that. Something that you can put together and make look natural. You know, because like I said, I never would have guessed. Like I thought he just was really doing this and that shit happened.
Same. Yeah. I would never thought that was staged at all. That looks so real. That is so funny. So like, what are some growth tips that you can share from your agency that clients have witnessed?
Some growth tips?
Yeah, like as they have grown, because I know like you guys, you don't like to take a campaign unless it's like 3 to 6 months, correct? So like where's like some growth tips that you can share that you have witnessed yourself along with your clients through a time period from 3 to 6 months of producing content? Yeah,
so the way we like to do it is we like to start by building around either the music or the content, just because as a music artist, like music is your product, you know? Mm-hmm. At least in the beginning, like when you're someone like a Travis Scott, who their product is kind of just the entire brand, music can arguably become less important. But in the beginning, people care about a music artist because of their music, or the majority of it. So we like to try to figure out what in their catalog is kind of the one thing that's going to bring people in. We have this thing that we talk about, what we call it the lightning rod effect, where if we can find one piece of content that works as far as bringing people into it, we can build around that with other content you drop. And the idea behind it is that, you know, music is a long-term game. No matter how many people have heard it, if no one's heard it before, then it's new to them. And if something is working, don't stop running it until it stops working. But the battle that music artists are always going to fight, no matter where you are in your career, is the battle of trying to get in front of new people and then also trying to keep the people that already know about you entertained. You know, it's like that's a fight that gets harder the bigger you get. But with the lightning rod thing, we kind of see is if you have this one piece of content that's proven to bring people into your funnel, you know, then you can just use that piece of content to bring new people in, and then you drop other content to keep the people that already know about that content happy. So very, very, in my opinion, stress-free, depending on how you look at music and content drop, you know, strategy go. So once we've kind of identified like what that looks like, well, firstly, I should say this. We believe in starting everything with like programmatic ads. So like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, just because it's the most boring part of marketing. Like it's not all the flash and the bells and whistles, but it gives you a really solid foundation to take all the risks that come with the other stuff you're gonna have to do as marketing. Like the viral stuff is a risk. Like I've spent $10,000, $20,000 on viral campaigns and like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Flatline. Like we got a couple million views and like it didn't do nothing past that. You know. But the marketing, the ad stuff gives you like a really solid foundation to land on to be able to test out what's going to be your lightning rod piece of content, you know, because anybody that's ran ads before knows that, like us, we know if something is going to work or not within the first $100 or so. It's not many influencers I can pay for like $100 that are going to let me know if an influencer campaign is about to go well. So we start there with almost all of our clients, building out like a solid ad strategy, looking for that one piece of content that's going to be the lightning rod content. And then we try to identify like a couple of markets that make sense for them. So like, are you going to build in the U.S.? And for example, we have one artist. She's a really dope R&B artist from New York, and her markets are the U.S., South Africa, and France. Like she wanted to build in the U.S. We just ran some test ads one time and realized that they really, really liked her in South Africa. And then I think we got to the France market where like one day we just noticed she was getting a bunch of comments in French, and we just looked into it, and like some French influencer had posted her on like Twitter, and like, it had started this whole thing for her in France. So we were like, all right, cool. These are your target markets. We're about to focus on these until you don't have any more money to hire us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's working for you, and people are translating from it. So identifying those key markets that you're going to try to build in with the ad stuff, and then once you have that foundation set, right, you got the ads going, they're at a good spot, you like what you're doing, you've identified the markets, you like where you're pushing to, you're seeing good results, people are actually converting. Then from there, I think it's about building the artist brand. So like, no, that comes down to content, the way they look, how they're moving and stuff. So like really getting deep into like brand building, and then trying to do some of the more like influencer back stuff. So who are the people that speak to the people that you're trying to get in front of? You know, like if your fans are mostly black women, like where are the pages that black women look at on Instagram? Like who are the people that black women think are funny? You know what I'm saying? Who are they looking at?
Smart.
And how can you get in contact with those people and get them on part of your campaign or your project or whatever? Because I look at both of them as like it's two sides of the same marketing coin, right? The ad stuff is the foundation, and whether you like think of it or not, influencers are modern day celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like they're influencers that get more watch time on their Instagram videos than some of the most money making award shows. You know, like you can see some influencers pull in 100,000, 200,000 people into their Instagram live, and then like the Grammys has like 50,000 viewers or something.
Exactly.
So it's like they are the celebrities of the internet, you know. So we look at them as the key to culture hacking. Like, what is the culture that you're trying to get into? Who speaks to that culture? Who has a voice within that culture? Person or non-person? Because I look at like meme accounts and like accounts that post about like dogs and stuff. Like all of them speak to someone, you know. And then at that point, it's just about creating enough content to be able to work yourself in these spaces over and over again. Because that's also the other thing we always have to get people to understand about marketing is like one marketing push is promo. You know, like marketing is long term. Like marketing is a long term strategy. Like unless you're spending a shit ton of money, then the results that you probably want to see out of your marketing push aren't going to come for another 5 to 6 months. And I tell you that, bro, like the things that we're doing now over this 3 to 6 month campaign, you're not really going to see a huge benefit from it for another 5 to 6 months, you know, because it takes time for things to snowball and to build up. And we're really just putting you in people's mind. What they do past that is on them. You know, if I put you in front of 100,000 people and only 10 people like it, it's not on us. You know what I'm saying? That's on whatever we pushing it to. But still, like identifying like what those places look like and how we can keep you in front of those places and how frequently we can get you in those places is usually the next strategy. Because I feel like once you have the programmatic side stuff down, which is basically you talking directly to a consumer base, because I would say, especially artists, like artists love to complain about being gatekeeped out of stuff. It's like no one can gatekeep you out of a Facebook ad. You know, like no one can stop you from opening your Facebook ad manager. So like start there, get that popping first, and then the other stuff will be a little bit easier for you to deal with if you get it or you don't get it. You know. But then from there, moving to the influencer stuff, because that's important. You have to figure out who's speaking to the people that you want to speak to and align yourself with them. And then once you have those parts of your funnel down, it's literally about repetition, like putting out good content, engaging with your fans, and then just doing that same thing over and over and over and over and over.
So all of that makes sense. But I heard you say, you know, y'all probably spent maybe $10,000 on advertisement and only got a couple of million views. And so now I'm thinking, okay, so what is the number system you guys are going by to determine the reward for the money you guys put in? So to me, I'm looking at it like, oh, if I get 1 million views, that's good. Yeah. But you're telling me, oh, that was it. And so that wasn't good enough for us. So what is y'all number system y'all are going by?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the goal of the campaign, then like, you're right, it's a good campaign. Like if we're running a vanity metrics campaign where the artists are like, yo, bro, I just want a million views, and we get 1 million views, like cool, we did what they asked. So I guess it was a success. But we look at consumer behavior past once the marketing stuff is done. So if we're doing all this stuff and we don't see people comment on your videos, we don't see people tweeting about you, people aren't making videos to your sound on TikTok, no one's DMing you, then like that's a bad campaign to us, because that means that once we turn all this marketing stuff off, everything's gonna die and you're gonna be right back at square one. That means the people we were pushing to don't care about what we're pushing, because nothing is showing that. So I try to train my team to look at the macro of the artist. So, the micro of the artist, so how is the actual ad doing? How are the actual influencer posts doing? How are the whatever thing we're doing, how is it actually doing within the metrics that we're looking at? And then what is the macro, like how are these people responding to the stuff we're putting in front of them? Are they going, like I said, are they going to TikTok and making videos? Are they going to Twitter and talking about it? Are they going to YouTube and commenting? Are there random YouTube accounts with 3 subscribers posting your song on their channel? Are there kids on TikTok making Roblox videos to your sound? You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Stuff to let you know that somebody heard this and was inspired enough by it to take an action around it. Whether that be to tell somebody, to listen to it, to you know what I'm saying, create something around it themselves or whatever that looks like. That's what we look at, because that's the stuff that is going to determine if it keeps working past when we start doing what we're doing. And I'm a big fan of the clients that are okay with it. I like to do kind of like marketing detoxes where we'll be like, yo, let's take like a month or 2 months off to see how you're moving now versus how you were moving before we started doing this push. Because if you were doing, let's use streams as a base, right? If you were having, let's say, 10,000 monthly listeners before the campaign, and then during the campaign we got you to 100,000 monthly listeners, and then when it's over, you drop back down to 10,000, it's like we didn't do a good job, But
Makes sense.
You're at 10,000, we had 100,000, you get down, you drop down to 25,000. It's like, okay, cool, like everybody didn't stay, but there are a bunch of new people here. That means we did the right thing. Now we just have to keep doing it, Because another thing that, or at least why I'm not a big fan of like short-term marketing plans, is that there's the adage that it takes someone seeing something like 7 times before they like move on it. And I don't think a lot of artists, if they do know that, I don't think they believe it when it comes to themselves, because it's like, bro, like we hit these people like one time, and sometimes it takes a 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th music video before someone goes like, oh, like I do like them, I'm gonna check them out. And the way I look at it with at least the stuff you can do in marketing today, especially with paid advertising, where you have the ability to control how many times people see you and, control whether or not the same people see you over and over just through the retargeting stuff. It's like you can control how fast that process happens. And even if those people don't convert, I look at it like you now have this group of people that know who you are. And in music, just having someone be able to say, like, I've heard that person before goes a very long way in music. Like, even if they don't like you, like, you would go right in like, yo, have you heard this person? And somebody goes like, I've heard them. I don't like them, but I heard them. Like, they're still
good.
Because something in your brand awareness campaign hit their radar and they saw you somehow. And it takes time to gauge stuff like that. Like we're not magicians, we're not magic men. Like we're looking.
We think y'all are.
Yeah, but it's like we're looking at the same stuff that like you look at. Like the artist is checking their streams, we're checking their streams. We might check more things than you check, but we're checking the same things, and we're using that to gauge like if people like it or don't like it. But some of that stuff takes time. Like we have one client that. I would tell the story. We had one client where we were running YouTube ads for them, and they wanted to run YouTube ads to grow their YouTube account, and just the whole campaign they weren't really getting any subscribers. They weren't getting like many comments, and we were like, damn, man, this campaign is ass. Like this shit sucks. And just I don't remember what made me ask, but it was one day I emailed the artist manager like, yo, can we get access to your Apple Analytics? And I was like, yeah, here, like look at them. And we looked, and like throughout the course of the campaign, they had gotten about like 1,800, 2,000 Shazam. So we was like, oh shit. So it's not that people didn't like it; they just weren't going to where we wanted them to go. They were hearing it, hopping off, and going to Apple Music for whatever reason, But so that's why I say like when I tell people we're like magic men, it's like we're just people that are trying to look at the bigger picture to see if this thing is working, because that's a real thing too. Sometimes it works where you want it to work, sometimes it doesn't work where you want it to work. But I believe that if it's working at all somewhere, that's a good sign. Keep going. We can always figure out how to get it to go where you want it to go. But is it working? You know what I'm saying? Are people liking it enough to do something after they heard it or view it or whatever?
That makes so much sense. So much insight right there. And so how do you feel about how the internet has impacted the music biz today?
I think it's a great thing, because like I said, my biggest pet peeve is hearing artists talk about how they're like gatekeeped out of certain things. Like everyone wants the big industry look. They want the A&R to talk to them. They want to go to the Rock Nation brunch. But it's like, brother, there is no gatekeeping on the internet, because the people that you feel like you can't get to, it's probably not true. They probably would work with you if you had the money to afford them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then even if there are people that you can't reach, there's always somebody underneath them that you can get to, and those people are speaking to the same people. It may not be as many people, but they're still speaking to the same people. So I think that the internet has opened up the music industry in a way that it's a good thing for the music industry. It's all the things that all the people from the industry before wished, right? Like they wish that they could. I bet you every rapper in the '90s wished they could talk directly to their fans on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I bet they wish that they didn't have to pay tens of thousands of dollars in distribution fees. You know what I'm saying? They wish they could just pay $9.99 a month on DistroKid and upload their music. You know, like I bet they wish they could just post a video and it might go viral. You know what I'm saying? And like they could have a career out for that. So I think it's a good thing. I think it has made it. I think it's made it easier to become an artist today, but I also think it's made it harder because of oversaturation. So now with all those barriers, it's like now in the 90s, 2000s, you were competing with maybe 100 artists at a time.
Right.
You know? Now you're competing with every person that decided they wanted to be a rapper today. You know what I'm saying? Like, and who has the equipment to put their music online.
Exactly.
Put it out there. So it has made it harder in that sense as there's, it's oversaturation. But I like the democratization it's brought to the music industry. Like, it's made the music industry so unpredictable and literally made it to where the most random person could have a door open to them because they understood how to work the internet, not necessarily how to work the music industry,
Right. And so in the year of 2020, the world was at a standstill due to, everyone quarantining and things. And so we have seen so much trend and go viral and things of that nature on the internet. What was the most interesting trend you saw in 2020?
The most interesting trend?
Yeah.
Was that Tide Pod thing this year? Where kids were eating Tide Pods? Was that this year? That's probably the weirdest thing I've seen from the internet in a minute. But the most interesting thing.
That's some weirdo. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have an example of the most interesting thing. I think the most interesting,
or something you continuously share to this day, even with your friends, and like, bro, that video's still funny.
It's for real, probably the Tide Pod stuff from the kids. That just like blew my mind. Like it's so much like my job is to be on the internet all day. So like I don't know. Sometimes I just see things and just like okay, I don't want to see it again. So I don't know if there's a particular video that I would point to. I mean I think that in my opinion the best viral culture stuff is on TikTok.
Okay.
I'm big on TikTok right now, but that's because. Like viral moments on other platforms are just like moments. Like it's just like, okay, this was a funny video. This made me angry. This made me sad. That shit creates like whole cultures on TikTok, and they start to like talk different and move different and do stuff. Because it's mostly teenagers, so it's interesting. It's very interesting to see. So probably that, like just the amount of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the vernacular and stuff that's kind of come out of certain viral moments. I probably would still point back to that Mario Judah thing. Like I think that like that video. That made him go viral is probably the funniest thing I've seen. Like, I think that video was very funny. But other than that, I don't really have like a particular. I don't think I have a particular video I can point back to. That I can think of.
Well, first of all, you shared so many gems to start with, and that's first and foremost. So, it's a lot more questions that I want to go in on, but we going to save them for another day. I first would like to say just thank you so much for joining us for the Dope People Meet podcast.
Oh, thank you.
And, but before you get out of here, we have to play a game. It's a 10-question game.
Okay.
You have 10 seconds to answer, and you only get one pass. Do not break my rules.
Okay. Wait, you said one pass?
Yeah, one pass.
Okay.
You're going to be all right. All right, here we go. Do you sing in the shower? If so, what songs?
Yes, and whatever is the last song I was listening to. Right now, I've been singing this song by this. It's this artist I found on TikTok. Her name is Akira Ray, and I don't know. Like I've heard her song so many times, and I've been singing that song.
Is this a song you've been singing like the past week or so? Because every time I talk to you, you have literally been singing.
Maybe no. This song is. Like, I mean, I've been following her for at least 2 weeks, but I didn't really check her music out until like 3 or 4 days ago, and then the song has been stuck in my head since I checked it out.
Oh, okay.
So that right now.
If you could change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
If I could change anything about the music industry, I would change. I would get rid of net 30s and net 45s and net 60s. Whoever created the system of net anything is evil. Yeah. Like how you want me to work and not get paid for 45 days? What kind of shit is that?
I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, pay me right now. I just did all this work. You don't want to pay me. I feel you on that. Okay. If you can be an artist for a day, who would you be?
If I could be an artist, like a particular artist for a day?
Yeah, like Travis Scott, Usher.
No, I wouldn't want to be Travis or Usher. That's too much. I would want to be Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean?
Yeah, because Frank Ocean makes probably just as much money as the big artist, but he doesn't have to go anywhere. No one expects him to go anywhere. He can just stay at home.
Good point.
Ocean.
That's you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure you. All right, what's your favorite song of all time?
All time? I Want to Be Your Man by Zapp and Roger.
Oh, okay. Those vibes. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
If I had a superpower, what would it be? If I had a superpower, it would be... All right, wait. Before I answer that question, are we living in a regular world?
You can't ask no questions to me. You got to answer the question as it is.
I would want the ability to always make the right decision.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
That's
like in
different.
any just make the right decision in any scenario.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Now, if you could be a beverage, what would it be?
Sprite.
Sprite?
Yeah.
Why?
Because everyone likes a Sprite.
I guess. I love Sprite, but I don't know where you got that from.
You never met anyone that doesn't like Sprite.
Yeah, you know, it'd be weirdos. Like, give me some ginger ale, give me Sierra Mist. I'm like, what?
I've never in my life met someone that doesn't like Sprite. Ever.
I heard people ask for ginger ale or Sierra Mist, and I'd be like, what you
I
talking
like ginger ale. I like ginger ale and Sprite.
Like, where you from? Okay. If you could be a cartoon, who would you be? I'm going to tell you who you look like. I ain't going to tell you who you look like.
If I could be a cartoon. Like, in a cartoon?
Yeah. Who would you be?
Who would I be?
I feel like you'd be somebody out the Proud Family.
Nah. Oh, I don't. What? I would want to be... That's a good question. I never thought about that. I don't know.
You got Rocket Power. You got the Flintstones. You got SpongeBob.
I would want to be in Adventure Time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Shoes or jewelry? Shoes.
Yeah.
You ain't with the flashy.
I mean, I like bracelets.
Subtle things.
The only jewelry I like are like grills and bracelets.
I never seen you with a grill.
Yeah, it's called. I lost it before I met you.
Oh wow!
I just haven't got one.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I've been trying to be smart with my money and not go buy.
I like that.
Go buy
okay, stuff. Responsible, ladies. He responsible.
And I don't like rings because I had a bad experience with a ring.
With a ring?
Yeah.
What's the bad experience?
I had a ring get stuck on my finger and I had to get it cut off with a metal cutter.
That means it was too little. You should have never put it on in the first place.
I mean, you're right, but I didn't know that when I put it. It went onto my finger and then it got stuck and it was stuck on my finger for 3 days. My mom's boyfriend had to cut it off with a metal cutter. And to this day, like, if I put a ring in my finger in my hands, like, I start, like, it's
freaking out.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
Dang. Yeah. So you don't never, like, pawn your wedding ring, your wedding band?
That's something I got to figure out before I get there.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm going to have to get wedding bracelets.
Last question. What's next for you?
So I think just continuing doing what I'm doing, like, try to grow the agency, get smarter about business and all the stuff that comes with trying to run a business in the music industry. Get better as a content creator, try to open that up and that's really it. Just I don't have like a set destination thing that like I want to hit. It's just like, if this is better than what it was last year, I'm happy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Growth. Okay, yeah. Period. Is there anything you want to leave our audience with before we get up out of here? Anything?
No, I feel like you got everything out of me. I would say like for any aspiring creative music artists listening to this, like when people like me say that like really anything can happen and anybody can do it, like I'm not saying that from the general like, oh, I'm gonna try to make you feel good and motivate you. I'm saying that from a person that looks at numbers all day. I've seen the most random shit work. I've seen things that I personally didn't believe in work, and I said enough to say like, if you think it can happen, it can happen. That's all that matters.
Yes. Okay, Jakori. Well, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Dope People Meet podcast. I am your host, Portia Marie. Make sure you follow me on all social media at PORCHIA. It's French, okay? MARIE. And we have my guy, Jakori Barkley. Please let the people know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok at Corey Savior, KOHREYDASAVIOR. And follow my YouTube account, Brandman Network on YouTube.
Yes, this is where creators meet, and we will see you next time. Thank you.